Good morning. I have just returned from my walk. Got off to a very late start this morning. Constance and I are both feeling a little under the weather, and you may hear it in my voice. Don't worry, I wore a mask when I went to the coffee shop, and Constance has uh, visited the doctor and has got some stuff to make her feel better and hopefully sort of knock it out. Uh, I'm reporting in. I had a pretty restless night, but I feel much, much better this morning. So I probably, at least today, won't be calling in uh, and bothering the doctor. Anyway, um, so I may not, I may cut this kind of short this morning. I've sort of titled uh, today's talk something like Show Business Missteps. Now, many of you know that uh, I sort of started out not so much as a magician or an esoteric kind of guy. I started out in radio, radio, a little 500-watt station in Columbus, Nebraska called K Triple T. I think K Triple T is still broadcasting. I in high school I did the afternoon sort of rock and roll show, and I got I had to get a second class broadcast license and take a test and stuff, and I thought I was going to be a broad chaser. Uh, that's what we called ourselves. Uh, and then I also had a band, a high school garage band, but I just sort of fell in among older guys, older musicians uh, that, and we sort of toured the area with because they were over 21 and uh, and then I developed it into a band of my own, yada yada yada, like most boys my age in those days. And when I graduated from high school, I moved out to California, and I was falling in love with folk music and the folk rock uh, material of the day. Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Odetta, uh, Ledbetter, and not Ledbetter, Leadbelly. Yes, Theosophist blues player. Um, but anyway, almost immediately, I just boldly walked into beer bars and in Costa Mesa. I was underage and everything else, and uh, still I had more nerve than talent, and uh, I started playing in local saloons in Costa Mesa. And I had my own PA system and things like that. So I was an instant band. And in one of those bars called the Buccaneer Beer Bar in Costa Mesa on Newport Boulevard, uh, I met Charles D. Harris. Now, Charlie's sons, I believe, watch this show from time to time. So, hi Jesse, hi Buck, hi Mason. Okay, and uh, we started to write songs together because both of us just really enjoyed hashish and writing songs. And we wrote some pretty good songs. As a matter of fact, we wrote some really good songs. And it's a long story short, eventually, and I've told you this story, on the last night before Constance and I were going to move back to Oregon to be hippies, uh, two producers from CBS or Columbia Records uh, came into the club that we were playing, and they were celebrating their second gold record in 90 days. Okay, they were the producers of the Spiral Staircase, which had two very good hits, sort of blood, sweat, and tearsy kind of brass kind of thing. I love you more today than yesterday. Boo, 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 doo. And they got so drunk that we sounded really good. And the fact that we uh, wrote our own material that just put their greed monkeys in interested. And so we stayed over. They invited us to do a demo at CBS. The Actually, it was just a couple days later, and we went and did a demo at CBS. And I think before we left the building, we were under contract with Epic Records for two singles and an album. And Constance and I never went back to Oregon to be hippies. We were rock and roll. We were recording artists for a while then. And so you can still find the album and the singles uh, if you look around enough. Okay. Uh, but that was around 1969, 70, and 71. And our single got to number one in several markets, uh, Denver, Salt Lake, and things like that. And it was a thrill to hear our record played on Top 40. And it has become, Charlie D and Milo is the name of the album. It's become sort of a cult classic because it was, along with the other Epic or CBS labels that were producing in those days. They sent the records off to Vietnam, and they were played by the soldiers in Vietnam, and we had a lot of fans during that era. But eventually, as all those things like that go, uh, that that fell that that relationship, sort of, not Charlie and me, but the relationship with the label deteriorated, uh, and we wrote songs for like Johnny Rivers and other artists, and but we started to sort of branch off on our own to try to get uh, a new sugar daddy, a new producer who would take us to another label. And so here comes my story. Okay, my off of the top of my head story today. One of, excuse me, one of our fans, a regular fan that came to see us at the club in Costa Mesa, um, was, I guess they still call him, he was a headhunter. He cut people's heads off and ate them. So, no, he was a headhunter. He, uh, he sought out executives. He was like an executive employment agency kind of guy. Uh, but he was very, very, very wealthy. And he liked Charlie and me a whole lot and always wanted to do something nice for us. And he had just bought the mansion of Charlie Chaplin in L.A., Hollywood area. And he moved into Charlie Chaplin's old house and was throwing a party. And he wanted Charlie and me to to come and play a few of our songs. He wanted to show Charlie and me off at at the party, and there was the strangest assortment of people, including Dennis Banks of the American Indian. There were a lot of people, sort of, because he was sort of a um, uh, philanthropist for progressive causes and stuff, because he wanted to spend his money well. And so we played a bunch of songs. Everybody, of course, everybody loved him. Uh, Sylphs and Gnomes and Undines and oh, we had one called Pork Chops Cooking in the Gravy, which is I love the way you love. Let's see, love you on the table, love you on the floor, love you when you holler, give me more, more. Yeah, well, others were better than that, but anyway, it was our old producer was there getting ready just to ink a brand new contract, brand new career, new page in Charlie and I's musical career. And it was about time for us to go because it's about 40 miles away and we had to get home. But no, we got one more song we want to play for you. And everybody was excited. So you're really going to like it. We just wrote this the other day. We could have left. Okay, we could have gone home. Everything would have been different. One more song. And we wrote the song because my father had just recently passed away, and we were feeling sort of let's do something. Let's really make a statement with this one. And I'm not going to sing it for you. Well, I'll kind of hum it for you. Uh, it's called Shady Rest Lament, like Shady Rest, the rest home, you know. And it's today is the every other Sunday. And just because it isn't very far, you take the time to bring the Sunday paper and tell us how the children wash the car. And everybody's leaning in going, whoa. You ask me if the pills have stopped my aching. I tell you that I'm steady getting fed. But pills cannot cure this pain inside me. In this cold old place, I might as well be dead. But as we talk, I see another Sunday when I was strong and you were just a boy. Together we would read the funny papers. Later on I'd fix that broken toy. You're leaving now to miss the freeway traffic. I thank you for the flowers and the book. And you could see the tears your daddy's crying if you turned around to take just one more look. And if that wasn't bad enough, the refrain, oh, please don't let me die alone. Please don't leave your daddy in this home. You could hear a pin drop in that room. Okay. We were expecting tears. We were expecting blissful something, but we weren't expecting dead silence. And our headhunter, potential producer, said, "That's too sad. You guys shouldn't write things like that." And then we find out, and he walks out. And then we find out from one of the other guests that he had that day put his father in a home. So that's about when I started looking for a new line of work. Anyway, that's that story. I'm. It sort of goes 2 days after April Fool's Day, but anyway, um, that's that. Pretty soon, April 8th, 9th, and 10th, coming up on the 3 days of the writing of the Book of the Law, and I'll have all sorts of surprises and stuff. Didn't I do well without coughing? So I think I must be getting better. So until tomorrow, hopefully, be good to yourself. I know it's just, I say it automatically, but I really mean it. If you forget everything else, be good to yourself. You're the only one you got. And be good to each other, because we're the only ones we got. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.